Okay. The game is probably going to be way too loud when I first load it up, but hello! Welcome! We're going to play Bastion, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm very excited to share this all with you. I am Liv. Sean is on the ether mic.
Hello.
Yeah, that is way too loud. And Sean's going to be reading chat and donations because I can't see anything while I'm playing this. So, let me just turn this down. Subtitles are going to be on because we love accessibility in this house. Let me know if we need me to adjust anything in terms of audio levels, and I can try my best. This still feels like it's too loud. Narration should be louder than the music. There we go. Okay, that feels like it's a good level for me. Alrighty. Are we good? Is everything going smoothly? Can we see what we're supposed to be seeing and everything? Oh no, I can't hear Sean. This is an issue.
Will the no, I'm here. Will
Okay.
the everything looks good? Will the donation messages show up on screen? Is that
I don't
good to
think
go?
so. I don't know if I did that.
But everything else looks good.
Everything else is good. Okay, let me see if I can add that real quick. Is that
Like
is
we
that
have
just
the
a widget?
donation meter.
Yeah, the meter is there.
I don't know.
Is it-
Okay, cool.
So if that's a widget, I can add that. Hang on. No, it doesn't look like it is. Okay. Yeah, no, and donations shouldn't. I don't think donations will show up on screen unless it's this thing. It is. Okay, there we go. Sorry for everybody seeing the back end of this. But that should be it. Yes. Okay, and we're gonna. Here, let me just do that. So that way you see it. Don't see what I'm working on. There we go. Okay. And then yay. Okay, that should be good now. Okay. Let me also turn up mute so that way I don't have to try and hear you over the music. There we go. Okay, now we're good. We're gonna play this on no sweat mode because I don't trust myself to play this on normal mode. I have never played this game on normal mode. I'm gonna die more if I do that, so this is gonna be the easier way to go. Okay.
Oh boy, I went all the way up to 186.
Yes, you
Proper
did.
story is supposed
Just
to
so I
start
can
at the
hear you.
beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky.
Alrighty.
He gets up, sets off for the Bastion,
You're very
where
into
everyone agreed to
super
go
giant
in
games.
case of
How
trouble.
did you come across them first? Like, was this your first one?
I played this one first, but I didn't get into them
Ground
until
forms
after
up under his
Transistor
feet as they
came out.
point the
So I
He don't stop to
got into it
wonder
because a
why.
friend of mine recommended them to me. My friend Caleb, who
Finds his lifelong friend.
trust for pretty
just
much
lying in
everything.
the road.
This still needs to be done some. Because I can't hear myself talk. But yeah, so my friend recommended this game to me originally, and then I played Bastion and Transistor because they were both out at the time, and then I bought Pyre, which was game 3 when it came out, and then Hades also, I played that in beta. So
Well, it's a
this was my
touching
first Supergiant
reunion.
game, but that's just because I played them in order.
He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the calamity.
So you can fall off the edge in this game incredibly easily. But yes, I just got, so the fun thing about this is that they give you lots of different weapons.
That a
So,
survivor?
oh boy.
No, ma'am. It's a gas fella,
Monster
forced
Guy.
out from underground.
But yeah,
Kid
I just found them on
pops
Steam,
him good.
but you can get most of
Fella
their
got a
games on
piece of him, though.
Switch and other games, and other consoles, like Xbox. This is not really pointless.
An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods. but it'll have to do.
But yeah, one of the things I just love about this is the art and the storyline. Like, this game was made with a crew of about 5 to 10 people, I think. And all of the music was recorded in
Kids
a
worked up
closet
quite a
in a
thirst
house.
by now, so that fountain looks
And
real
so
inviting.
it's just
Sometimes
super cool
you
to
just
see what
need
they
a drink.
achieved with just such a little amount of stuff.
Quite a few.
A school of squirts tumbles
It looks
up around
great.
them.
It looks
Yeah.
it's like
Fled here from the mine.
No, Gen Z, who is the art director for Supergiant, did most, if not all of this. She's an incredible artist, and she just won a BAFTA for her work on Hades, which I am so proud of her because she's awesome. I have been following the Supergiant team for a long time, so I know all of their names.
He sets foot inside.
I'm super excited to see that like they've been gaining popularity because of Hades.
Inside, old
I...
Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did.
Oh no, our friend has been turned to stone. Rip.
Rondi always wanted his ashes scattered here.
Yeah.
Then Kid finds his trusty shield.
But we get the shield. There we go. I meant to stream this to you as well on Discord. Sorry about that.
No, that's all good. I didn't want to say
Security
anything because I
takes
didn't want
him
you
for
have to
any
like minimize the game and stuff. So I don't know. If you do, you do. You don't do. I'm following
Special
along with
delivery.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, I don't think it's too far
So
behind
I'll see it.
in likelihood, so you'll see it in a second. But yeah.
It's only like
Start turning up.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited because I've been telling people for years to play this game, or to play games by Supergiant. But nobody's ever taken me up on it, and now everybody's been playing Hades, and now everybody I know has beaten Hades before I have,
More
which
squirts
is
start coming out of the woodwork.
sad, but I'm just not good at roguelikes,
Big
so
old
that's fair.
pops out in front of the kid.
But one of the things I think made Hades work so well is that Supergiant did things in their earlier games that worked well for the
Kid
roguelike
sees
genre.
the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
Yes, it is. So the things like different weapon combinations
He
and
gets a
different
good look at things on
things
his
that
way
you build
down.
up over time, and
He lands on top of a
just the way that this
bowl,
game is styled
and it ain't broke.
made sense for a roguelike. And so when they finally did one in Hades, it worked out really well because a lot of the mechanics that existed in their previous games just
Kid spies a good
made
perch
sense.
for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back.
I hate this weapon. They make you try out all the different weapons when you get them for the first time, and it makes me sad because not all
The
of them
kid
I'm very good
pockets a
with.
memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the lab.
so a roguelike. I'm not super well versed in the genre.
Oh, okay,
I've always
yeah.
pictured like
Good news
your
is the
Binding of
emergency
Isaac or any of
defenses
your
still
sort
work.
of
Yeah, Binding of Isaac is a
Bad
really good
news is
example of
they're
one.
aiming for a kid.
top-down.
Yeah, so it's
That's all I associate with it.
it's not always top down, but sometimes like Hades is isometric, so kind of like this, because the sort of like partial turn of the map is something that Supergiant does in most of their games, because Transistor has this as well. But yeah, basically it's the idea of just, like with Binding of Isaac, you're sort of trying to do a full run from the beginning to end without dying, or at least without running out of chances to go, because you'll start with one and then you gain more as you go along. So Hades is about trying to battle your way out of hell. And so you start in Tartarus and you have to make your way all the way up to the surface in one run, essentially. And so you have abilities that reset over time, and or like you have abilities that you gain from the gods as you go, and those will
He finds the
reset.
distillery right next to the arsenal.
Distillery.
Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid will feel like a new man.
So we want Fetching Fizz is my favorite, but I want max health. Fetching Fizz is easier. So yeah, so this part is so one of the things that you can gain as you go along in the game and as you level up is you gain more passive bonuses. So there are different drinks that you can have in your distillery that will give you different bonuses. So just
The
help make
arsenal
play
is
the
where
game
the
easier.
kid can pick the best tools
My eyes
for the
did
job.
not read that correctly. that item. I think
Oof.
I've been a college student for too long.
Yeah, no, clearly. Then there's also the arsenal, which lets you pick your weapons in addition to your special abilities. I am a personal fan of the Kale Hammer, the Fang Repeater, and Bolt Burst, and you'll see why in a bit if I remember how to do my secret skill. Thank you. It's cute to use a secret skill. See, Supergiant predicts what I need when I need it. It's like, how do I do my secret skill again? Oh yeah.
Some of them squirts buzzing like crazy.
So that just lets me do a little round of shots that will hit everything around me, which is nice. So I like the Fang Repeater because it's fast, and I do need to reload, so it has ammo unlike the bow, but the bow is just slow, and I'm bad at using it, so I tend to avoid it generally. And you get lots of other weapons later, but not this level.
So having a loadout system like this, is that something that's commonly in the genre?
It's commonly in roguelikes, which is sort of the point I was making about how everything is sort of made sense to work.
Watch his step.
Fell off again. But it's something that Supergiant does. It's hard for me to place the genre of this game because I genuinely couldn't tell you what I think the genre of this is supposed to be. It's kind of an action, kind of an RPG. It's like an action adventure thing, and so I think that's one of the things that makes these games unique is that they had the loadout system like this. I think that was not common when this came out like in 2010. Because this game caught a lot of attention on its own merit. Like obviously Hades has caught a bunch of attention, but even when this first game came out, a lot of people recognized it was a totally quality game. And so, well, I'd like to do but yeah, I think that was because Transistor, the game after this, even took it to the next level because you had the same weapon regardless, but the weapon has 4 functions that you can use, and then like upgrade abilities and passive abilities. So you gain lots of functions from different traces of people throughout the city as you go, and that gave you even more variety. And also, when you get later in the game, there are things you can add on that makes the game harder. So in this game, it's just putting idols in your shrine. In Transistor, it was limiters on your like transistor process, essentially. Making the robots that you fight hard to fight. And so this game has a lot of replayability, even though it's not very long. It still has that, like, so you can make the game harder, so trying to pass the game with all idols unlocked is incredibly challenging, and so it makes it have a lot of playtime in it, even if it doesn't take very long to play through the first time.
M in chat says Angel spotted, I think in reference to you or perhaps the game.
He steals the city's
I mean, this game is very pretty.
Might as well. Down he goes. Down toward the Bastion.
I fell, but that worked out in my favor this time.
Oh.
Now the kid sees something stranger still.
So
his mind races.
Oh Jesus! I forgot what I was just going. Oh, would you argue that replayability is more or less important than like just the length of a game? Like if you have a 100-hour, campaign of say an open world game, or you have a shorter game like this, but you can go back into it, with a lot more options.
I think each has their own. I'm just pulling up chat so I can have it next to me on my phone. I think each of them has their own, like, there are pros and cons to both. I think if you're going to have a shorter game, especially in, like, the world of indie games, it's going to be,
Did anybody else survive?
A lot better for it to have this replayability, because I enjoy that, but also at the same time, I love games like Breath of the Wild that are huge open world games that have hundreds of hours packed into them. So I think both are good, but especially with a small team created game like this, making something shorter that has that replayability is just more achievable for a smaller team of people. That's my thought anyway.
We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest.
That's a very good point.
Enough to point the way to the core.
I still haven't Breath of the Wild. I haven't gotten all the shrines yet, but I only recently beat it, and
My friend beat it recently. I've had it. So what happened was, funnily enough, same friend who introduced me to Supergiant got me Breath of the Wild for my birthday. But the deal was because I had a Wii U and he didn't. He played it on my Wii U and then gave it to me after he went to school, because he went to college a couple years before me because he's a few years older than us. And then, so I played it. So I've had it since then, and I got it again on the Switch when I got my Switch for my birthday last year. But I still haven't beaten either copy of the game. So I'm still working on it.
All I tell him is to set
Okay,
that
now
core
we
is
have
on the monument
the actual mission of this game. So we just got a core, which I acquired, and now I'm going to stick it in the monument. And so basically, our goal in this game
Just
is
like
to
that, the Bastion comes alive.
create
Starts
or
growing
just
again,
rebuild the Bastion
growing
with
stronger.
the cores as we go. So that's what
Kid's
we're
gotta
doing.
put its power to good use.
Ethan in
Now
chat
the
says
Bastion can send
he's
him
not
even
sure if he's
farther
ever going to beat Breath
into
of the
the
Wild
wild
until
unknown.
2 comes out.
Fair. Honestly, that's fair. I've been playing Age of Calamity, like the Hyrule Warriors. I'm probably going to beat Hyrule Warriors
Kid
before I
knows what to
beat
do.
Age of Calamity. Or I'm going to beat Age of Calamity before I beat Breath of the Wild, probably, because it's just easier. I'm okay at Breath of the Wild, but I probably am not going to even beat Age of Calamity until I beat 3 houses now because I've been playing.
Makes time to sample
that.
spirits from my personal supply.
Okay, now I've
have-
got more things at the distillery.
I have a bone to pick with Breath of the Wild.
What's
When
your bone
I
to pick?
when I beat it, I didn't
Squirt
recognize
cider
that
will
there was
toughen
this
you
whole
right up.
stylistic thing
Too bad
of
about
like
the musty aftertaste. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him.
Yeah, no. When my friend beat Breath of the Wild, they had a thing that was just like, I wish I could go explore the world after, like, the defeat of Ganon, but I recognized that that would require an entire reconstruction of the world, and so that wasn't possible. But I thought it would be cool, and I was like, that's fair.
The Skyway.
Okay.
Now the kid can ride the wind, the distant land.
Okay, this is where I'm going next, right? Nope, this is the Bastion. I already... Oh, okay, this is where I'm going. So this is what the overworld looks like. Basically, there are going to be areas that pop up. These are proving grounds which let you do certain weapon-based trials, but I'm not very good at them, so we're not going to do them today. Time for this.
Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong.
Yes, this thing.
Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets.
here's your friendly
But which
neighborhood
one?
reminder to donate if you so choose. To consider
Yes.
donating to the CAP Creative Recovery Fund.
He heads for the
Yes,
squirt
we're raising money.
steps,
I walked past.
hoping no field
I
trip
walked
this
past
time.
Cap in the.
Kid ain't
in the
ever
comments
seen
the other
an
day.
elephant squirt before.
Oh, they were here?
Yeah, there's they have a space downtown. And so I walked past it the other day. 'Cause I
Oh,
was-
in the commons. I thought you said comments.
Oh no, no, in the Commons. I was downtown yesterday because of the day off.
Scumbag can digest just about anything.
I got the sword.
Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw.
The sword is cool because it's got a fast attack speed, and also if you hold it down, you can throw it. It lets you string together stuff even faster.
They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. Squirts don't make the best of friends, but they can be useful in a pinch. No sign of the core here. At least the
Reminds
kid got
me of,
something for his trouble.
Forget which Star Wars game this was. I mean, you could do it in so many of them, but I would always get really excited when a Star Wars game would let you throw a lightsaber like Captain
Yeah.
America's Shield.
Them squirts just
That's
don't
like-
know when to quit.
The only thing that matches that, and only by pure nostalgia, is the ground pound from Lego Star Wars, the lightsaber ground pound.
Yeah.
Two favorite things to do with a lightsaber. in a
Up
video game.
north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock.
Has it been done in the film where it's like thrown and then caught?
Throwing a lightsaber and then catching. I don't know. They might have done it in the sequels, but I don't remember.
I think it was. I feel like it was thrown in the sequels, or in Rise of Sky, I don't know why I'm remembering.
They didn't throw it, I don't think, in Rise of Skywalker, but I do remember one of my favorite bits about the entirety of Rise of Skywalker is a tiny little moment, but my favorite thing up here is
locked down tight.
Mary Kermd donated $100 to the Cap Creative Recovery Fund.
Thank you for the $100 donation! Oh, fuck. Thank you for your $100 donation. I'm about to die, but that's okay.
Thank you, Mary Kermid. I don't know if I'm pronouncing.
Oh, that's my mom! Hi, Mom! Mary
Hey!
Cure MD. Thank you so much, Mom! It is one of our secret donation goals. If you donate $100, we're supposed to serenade the person who donated. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Thank you, Liv's mom.
I don't have my ukulele on me, which is upsetting because I would have done that if I brought it with me, but I didn't. So thank you, Mom, for giving us $100 for charity. I don't really have anything planned. I really should have had something planned in terms of a song. But you get to be serenaded anyway. Thank you. Woo! Yay! Okay.
You, at least you can actually sing. I didn't know what I was gonna do.
You're good. I was like, I don't know if anybody's gonna donate, but if somebody donates 50 or 100, I am nothing if not a theater kid, so I was prepared for this. Oh, crap. I keep getting knocked out my face so much.
And Mary's also celebrating along with us in the chat.
Yes! We love to see it.
So theater, what have you done like with productions?
So I've been doing theater ever since I was little. Nowadays I tend to work more backstage. Oh, there we go. Nowadays I tend to work backstage more often than not.
He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall.
But as a kid, I did a lot of acting. And I all the way through high school.
Fiona says that face when contractual obligations as a theater kid, recommended by a flaming idiot. And Ethan says, imagine it being a theater kid, couldn't be me. Fiona's retired from being a theater kid.
That's fair. I technically am retired by not being a theater major, but a lot of my friends are theater majors, so I'm not really, because I still do student theater here on campus. So I'm still a theater kid, technically speaking.
You tried to get out, but they pulled you back.
But no, they pulled you back in.
We build next.
Okay. What are we gonna build next? Do we use the forge, the arsenal?
Only thing I've done theater-wise, I was in pit orchestra a few times, but
The Bastion's a place.
I got sick a lot,
But we can
so
hold our own if we
I had like mono, flu A, flu B,
Oh no.
flew the entire alphabet basically. So,
Rip.
A repeater goes with a hammer better than a box of nails.
Okay, time for our next mission.
Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out.
Which one do I want? Melting pot, sundown path. I think I want sundown path first.
so how many of these sort of worlds or missions?
Couples used to walk.
Like what's the structure of the game?
So basically your goal is to collect all the cores to rebuild the Bastion, and so you have to take the cores from each of the remaining portions of the world, because as you can see the world's like falling apart around me, but I'm the gear on my back helps me to reconstruct certain things. So that's how I can still walk around, because the world is building itself up around me as I go. But once the core gets removed from a place, then I have to run because the place starts to fall apart. But I basically have to collect all the cores. There are about, I think there are like maybe 12 levels, 10. And then basically the goal, he hasn't explained this yet, but the goal is that the Bastion has the power to turn back time to before the world ended. And we'll get more on that later once we meet some other characters. But overall, so far we are under the impression that we're the only me and the narrator are the only people who survived the end of the world. And so we're trying to put the Bastion back together. Is essentially the goal.
So 10 or 12 missions. I could be misremembering, but you said earlier there were 5 cores? I don't know if I'm misremembering that though.
I don't remember how many cores there are supposed to be actually off the top of my head. But
See,
there should be a
that
core for
was intended
almost all of the
for
levels.
strolling and such.
But I don't. It's been a minute since I played this game all the way
Not
through,
so
so I
much
don't
for
remember
the
Oh,
exactly.
it really just respawned you on a tile. What the hell?
Yeah, no, this is what I get for playing in no sweat mode, because if I played in, if I play regular mode, then it's a lot meaner to me. In terms of making me actually die if I fall off the edge, but because I'm bad at not falling off the edge, I play on regular mode.
Sky bridges link the path together.
Oh boy.
One of the
Mountain
bridges
jumps.
whips the kid along.
I love how no sweat mode. It's like
Air travel
you never
always
really
was
hear
an iffy
like this sort of
proposition.
video game vernacular of sweatiness
Yeah.
in as like an opposing context to the term no sweat. But it's the fact that there's that implication of a no sweat mode and then a mode that is the opposite.
Yeah.
But Calamity changed everything.
It's an interesting because I'm used to Halo where it's just like heroic, legendary, and I just don't play a lot of other story games.
Yeah.
But I get super interested when I hear like the titles of the difficulties. It's some like
Well, if we
you
mastered
have
the
your
winds
easy,
in the
medium,
old
hard,
days,
but some of them
we
make
do
it
it
interesting.
again. Now the question is,
Yeah, no, this one's just
who
got
else
normal
gonna
and no
take
sweat.
the core?
Oh great, somebody already took the core of this place.
Well,
Oh no.
ain't no survivor stole the thing.
Oh yeah.
So, what does that mean? Like the levels can. Does that always happen on this mission, or is
It always happens on this
an
mission. I just
evolving
couldn't
thing?
remember if this was somebody else I hadn't met, one of the characters I hadn't met yet, or if it was just that somebody, one of the monsters followed it, which I'm pretty sure.
Tough break.
Oh.
Unlike the kid,
Never mind.
that core ain't coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path.
Oh, I have grenades.
He's wise to toss those things plenty far away.
There we go.
Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky when they wake 'em up.
Alrighty, that's my way out of there.
All
So
this toil,
that level doesn't have a
kid
core
keeps
because
coming back to an overwhelming question.
did anyone else?
Who else could have survived the calamity?
It wasn't about the core. It was about the friends you made along the way.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, that
So we
level
didn't
didn't have a
find the
core. in
core
it.
that time, but that ain't about to stop us.
I'm gonna go mute for like 30 seconds while I mercilessly, let's just say, entrap this fly that's stuck in my room.
Alrighty, we're headed to the melting pot.
In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt.
Time for more murder, indeed. Oh, right, this place with all
Fly
the thorn
got away.
bushes. Rip.
Of all the plans
No,
to
he's
survive
back.
the calamity, it has to be stab weeds.
I hate this level. Stab weeds are so annoying. For what? Oh, I forgot to change my special. That's fine. There we go. I hate these plants because they stab you upon impact, but in order to,
If there's a
Kill
core,
them
he
quickly.
figures it ought to be deeper down.
you gotta use your melee weapon, so it's annoying.
He cuts down
flaming
every
idiot
stab weed
poses
like there's gonna
more
be
murder.
a prize for it. Core stuck inside one of those fancy cages.
Seems like a natural proposal for
Great.
He throws a
a
switch.
game like this.
Now what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, is this the...
Quite a bit, as it turns out.
Oh, right, this is the I have to survive
The cage
until
starts lifting from the core ever so slow.
I can get the core
All
out.
Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in.
Great.
I have to survive proceeds to run into
Listen,
spiky
listen.
shit.
Not every squirt's born bad. Some springs the kids to
I have to
death.
survive until the thing comes up, but these stupid stabby plants
Take a little while.
do make this a lot better. But luckily I'm on no sweat, so if I like die, it's not the end of the world. And also, some of the little guys start fighting on my side as well. So it makes it a little easier. Not a bunch easier, but a little bit easier.
So to reiterate, because I explained it poorly before, the Community Arts Partnership, the Creative Recovery Fund, is a local support charity for Tompkins County artists. The pandemic has hit the arts pretty hard.
Yes.
I know, like in theater, for instance, nobody was going to watch plays, watch productions, things like that. So it's to support our local artists in
At this
Tompkins
rate,
County.
maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30. Hard to tell.
Yeah, I know in terms of live theater, like some of my theater major friends are just seeing live theater for the first time like these past couple weekends because the department's been doing something, but for the most part, like everybody in the arts has been suffering because of the pandemic. So it's very cool that the Community Arts Partnership is trying to help people in the area.
It ain't all bad. There's a kid find some spices from the motherland. Tax free. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy.
I love how there's just apples, like just buckets of green apples. They stick out so much. It's not an important shoot.
Yeah, no, it's just apples.
I don't know why I'm even, but they're so like, just why?
A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach.
Give me the core.
Done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge.
So, is this like equivalent to? Are there boss fights in this game?
Yeah, there are a couple, but a lot of them are like this, where it's just like a, you gotta survive for a period of time.
Hey, is that
I heard there was.
Mia the Jelly Bean? Is that Fiona?
Yes, that is
I
Fiona.
forgot what the rest
Thank
of the
you.
company. Thank you for the $5.
Thank you for the $5 donation. We stand.
The old world's finished.
We are at
but the new world's just getting started.
90669. That is double nice.
That is double nice. Can't believe Fiona's donating to her own dyeing her hair effort. What was the
You sent
message? Oh
My-
yes,
my- yeah,
hydration.
repeat
Thank
it.
you.
Don't
I'm
forget
hydrated.
to hydrate. I have a cup of water right in front of me.
Hydrate or dihydrate, baby. Okay.
A lot of things need fixing.
So thank you for the reminder.
Yes, thank you
I
for
have
the
the cup
reminder.
of water, but I was not going to remember to drink out of it.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not that responsible with my the upkeep of my human body.
Okay, so now we have the forge, which means we can upgrade our weapons. So I'm gonna take
Kids'
damage.
lifelong friends looking fit to keep on fighting.
And then the bow.
With a good length of meat gut, that bow's like new again.
And then for the Fang Repeater, faster reload or ammo. I think I want ammo.
Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them.
There we go. Okay, time for the next thing. Is this the one that I think it is? Okay, I did that one. Then why isn't there a star over it if it's already done? Oh, no, because I had this selected, that's why. Okay. Yeah, okay, I know what's going on now. We're getting into some more plot, I think.
The dead welcome
Yes.
him with open arms.
So everybody got turned to stone by the Calamity, essentially.
The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him.
A survivor! We
Kid
found a
sees him
survivor.
in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what.
How?
He's got so many
How does
questions
one-
after all.
I guess these parts of the show is still in terms of the stuff that's there. But
That's going to turn down stuff.
it's difficult to know. So how do they leave a lot of stuff ambiguous, or
They
without
explain a lot of
spoiling
it
it,
at the end.
okay.
Part of the thing is it's like uncovering it as you go because they're really putting you in the point of view of the kid, who doesn't really know what's happening. But they do try to have it be like you explore and figure out as you go along. You do figure out why
Just ain't got time for answers.
the calamity happened and who caused it and all that sort of stuff, but most of it doesn't get
The
explained
Thunder
until the end.
Brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nor did the Bird Boy. Didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr.,
No,
They didn't
not the
make it.
Thunder Brothers.
Oh
but
no.
him, he survived.
I know. So I watched a trailer for or something. I don't even know what it was. In preparation for
Kid
the
finds
game, and I
proof
heard
enough
this
that
narrator's
man ain't
voice.
from around
I'm
here.
sad because I have the stream volume muted because my brain would not be able to process
Fair.
it.
Just think. Without
But
that
I know
man,
that the narrator's
we
voice
wouldn't be
was,
here right now.
really
would
cool.
we?
Yeah. No, this is Logan Cunningham, who does voices for all the Supergiant games. He also just won a BAFTA for his work
The
on
core
Hades.
survived as well.
That's Logan.
Which is very, very cool. He played the narrator in this. He's the
Kid
Transistor
does what
Sword
he has to do.
in Transistor.
What do you
He's
say to a man who's
the
seen too
narrator
much?
in Pyre, I
Kid hasn't a
believe.
clue, but he says this.
Does he just work
You
at
have to go.
Supergiant, or is he like a
Please.
voice actor?
He's a
that
voice
just
actor in
mostly
general, but he's been with Supergiant since the beginning, so every time they have a project, they have a voice for Logan. Like, he is...
He's a proper
Logan Cunningham's
gentleman,
voice is the
that man.
backbone of a lot
His
of the
name
voice
is
work in this
Salt.
game.
Is he in any
No hiding. He's
other
in the
media,
hood.
like other games or
Folks like him ain't never
cartoons?
been a common sight in Ceylon.
I don't actually know off the top of my head. I just know him from
I'm gonna
this.
look him up.
He's
You should.
relieved to see me in a phase or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each
Okay,
other
got his IMDb.
for the first time.
Prepared to have it all locked behind some silly membership that shouldn't exist. Though actually, wasn't it Amazon that bought them? So maybe no,
you're fine.
it doesn't come with Prime. I forgot. Yeah,
Dang.
they bought it and then they turned it into a membership, and then
Yeah.
it doesn't come with Prime, which I mean makes sense because like out of the many people who have Amazon Prime, like not many of them are gonna use this, but just the fact that they locked up so much data, like
Yeah, that used to be accessible.
yeah, I'm still salty.
Folks voyaged
So he's
across the
best known
boundless
for the
sea
Supergiant
to
stuff.
found Ceylon. It was good living here for a while.
He's in Dota 2
Ah,
as Bastion announcer, so I don't know if that's some kind of
that was probably
cameo, or if there's-
a thing where he was doing the narrator as like an announcer voice for Dota, I would
We
guess.
fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now.
He's also credited for his work in Resonance from 2012,
Ah.
Primordia 2012, and Gravity Ghost 2015.
Interesting.
For Zol, Ceylon
I have no idea what those are.
He's real worried about his first home too. Far to the east.
And everything else is in the Amazon vault
Oof.
in Jeff
Born
Bezos'
Tassel
basement.
Terminus. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here.
Thanks for
ever
letting me know,
since.
Fiona. So the hydrate or dihydrate from M.
Ah, yes. Hydrate or
Yeah,
dehydrate.
it's my bad, Fiona. I shall read the.
Yeah,
the
sometimes
message
it's hard to
from
show up because of it just popping up in the middle of the screen, so. What's going on here?
So, Flaming Idiot, do I read this as Mean Sean or Mean Scene? So I feel like
Mean
you're
Scene.
going for the. I feel like you're going for the EAN rhyme there. A lot of people at work call me Scene.
That's why this place
Super
is put
annoying.
together. That's why things are
But I mean, I'm used to it because it's like. I'm gonna be honest with all the other Seans that
Well,
also
look what
spell
we
it
have
SEAN. It's just a dumb way to spell Sean. Like it looks cool. I don't like how the other ones look with the SH like on paper, but like why would you spell it that way and expect people to
Here, kid
pronounce
takes
it
fragments of
correctly?
the old world and makes them whole.
There has to be somebody that's just in charge of names in the universe that just decided to make so many difficult ones.
Okay, so I got the Lost and Found, which means I have access to more items now. And more skills.
Well.
Let me just get the
Some
mementos
interesting
All
there.
it
names.
takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new.
I love how they, for the crafting materials, they just went with all those.
Oh yeah, something
Ambiguous
something
names.
coarse, something nasty, something burnt, something sharp, something stringy, something heavy. Yeah. Let's see. Bastion bourbon is good, right? Damage using secret skills. I keep forgetting to do that. Automatically retaliate is also good. I'm gonna get both of these. I can't afford stab synth yet. I'll get it back. I'll come back and get it later. I should have a new level for this, right? Not yet. I'm not level 3 yet.
Fetching fizz is like a mouthful of nails, but the benefits are worth it.
get on the
I tried
game's
to
level.
let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right.
I instantly
No one else
regretted
showed
that
up.
one.
The windbags used to be all right. Then the calamity took the floor.
Then I
out
got
from
my little
under.
squirt friend.
So are those? Do people show up here that you saved from the missions?
Yes, so there aren't that many of them, but this is Zulf who we just saved. And then I think in the next mission or two we get Zia, who also will be here. But basically anybody who survives comes back to the Bastion because this is what anybody who survived was supposed to come here.
We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high.
Oh, your voice cut out.
Oh yeah,
Maybe it's still going on the stream, but
yeah,
cut
so
out of
we
Discord.
we saved Zulf a second ago, and then there's one other person who we meet, but all the survivors come here. Yes.
We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine.
I haven't played many games
Zolf
that
offers
have
to
this,
help
but my
plot
favorite thing
skyways for the kid.
like
At
this
least the
is
calamity hasn't touched the
Breath of the
stars, he
Wild.
says.
What is it? Tarrytown, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That you can create. And I had no idea it existed until I beat the game.
We
Because
tracked
I guess
down a
I just
couple
missed
more
one of the
cores near the edge of the
quests
city.
for it. And then I was like, oh, you can just create an entire town, and they had a whole story to it. That was one of my favorite parts of the game
Yeah.
in general. Like it had nothing to do with the main story, but it was just like the fact that you could have that impact on the map of creating an entire town. Like I
No
wanted to
use
be able to
praying to
change
the
the map
gods
like
these
that.
days.
I don't know.
No time for it.
Which is
either.
why I was salty that you can't actually beat the game. Which, you know,
Kid says
production-wise,
little
as you
prayer
said,
anyway.
it would
Couldn't
require a
hurt,
lot of
right?
effort that, you know,
Folks used
isn't
to make
necessary.
pilgrimage here, pay their respects
So
to
I
Pith,
can see that.
Bull. Well, the gods are long gone.
I'm sorry, am I like talking over
The
like
orchard
cutscenes and
core.
You're
stuff?
good. No, it's just the narration is constant, so there's no real point.
Seems Pith ain't much
Because
of a
I have it
watchdog.
muted, so if
Yeah,
I
no.
talk over anything important, just shush me.
No, he's pretty much just talking about how like the gods aren't here anymore. Like he's just being edgy. You're good.
The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid.
Fiona
ain't no
says
god.
something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I think in reference to the crafting items.
Yeah, to the crafting.
What
items.
is that from? The thing that she's quoting? Is that
That's from something that's not Doctor Who, but that's where I know it from.
Mac Grassel? I
Oh,
hope I'm
that's
pronouncing
Mac
that correct.
Grace. That's Mackenzie.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I butchered that.
Pith stood
You're
for
good.
something
It
once.
says "Rip the Gods."
Something. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration.
Okay, here we go.
Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least.
Oh,
Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his
So
hide.
the rhyme
Kid
that
breaks
Fiona
into
posted
bits.
is
Must have been guarding that
part of a
shrine.
traditional rhyme that details what a bride should wear at her wedding for good luck.
So what
right.
Invoke the
Oh,
gods,
that's okay. I
or
remember
tell 'em
this.
off.
Okay, so I found the bit that's the how you make the game harder.
Pith.
Oh, I heard about that.
So-
on the like 2-minute review I watched.
Yeah, so
Sounds interesting.
so this is idols. They just popped up on stream so you can see it now. I'm not going to use these because I am not good enough at the game still. But basically how this works is that like each of the 10 gods of Caelondia each has an idol that you pick up over the course of the game, and if you do a recourse through, like there's a new game plus you can do, and if you do a recourse through, then you can try to complete the whole game with all of them active. It basically just makes like this one is that foes are faster and have higher attack speed, but you get more experience and more rewards the more that you have activated. So I'm not going to do it right now, but as you play, you unlock more and more.
Kid don't need favors.
Are there any joke ones?
Not like
Or are they
Halo.
all discontinued? Unfortunate.
No, it's similar to that, like the skulls thing, though.
In my mind, everything just gets compared to Halo. Spent way too much time on
That's
that
totally
or,
fair.
or it's not even that. It's like I feel like for somebody who's like one of their main hobbies is video games, I don't play a lot of video games.
That's
I
totally fair. I didn't really until, like I grew up playing some games, and I have had a Steam account, so I have lots of things on my Steam, but not a ton.
I feel like I spend more time being sad that I'm not playing video games than actually
Playing video games, that's fair.
Popcorn machine.
Things might have gone worse if Kid tampered with that shrine.
Where is it? Layout.
I was so confused. So the right below the donation bar is
Kid
I
ain't
want to say
found
it's
cool,
your health bar.
at least
Yeah, it's
he
your
found
health
those
bar. And
precious-
Yeah.
it like goes down into the red. I'm like, what?
What happened? Yeah, no, the health bar is up there.
Now we can build a shrine of our own.
You
Though I
just
got
yeeted
some
yourself off the
alternatives
ledge.
in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no
So what are
joke.
these little bubble things under the Twitch chat? Channel points?
Oh, channel points?
Like, what does that do? What does that mean?
Oh, so you have channel points. So you can have like unique images. We just haven't done that. Basically, you can redeem channel points for certain things. So you can have highlighted messages. You can ask questions. You can redeem like a gift sub or like there are different things, and you as the streamer get to decide what those channel point revivals are for, or redeemals. I don't know what the word is, but yeah. Yeah.
100,000
The Euro feared
points
the
for.
gods. We
a
turned
sub.
them into toys. Put their
Okay,
faces
so-
on our walls.
I've been watching during the stream, so like I haven't watched the this Twitch channel signed into my account until
Unfortunate. Because yeah,
Until
so
the event
basically
started
channel points,
yesterday?
yeah, channel points add up as you watch logged in, so that's a move for you.
I'm trying to gauge what the okay, 10 points for 5 minutes. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Okay. we should get to the swamp.
There's only one way.
Are red
to
stars
for
not unlocked? Or...
Red stars are completed levels.
the hard way.
Oh, Jesus, you already went through all of
Sure,
those?
the
Yep.
city marshals.
I don't know why it looked...
It doesn't feel like that many.
Yeah.
Like I said, this game is, it feels a lot fast, like, it feels fast.
The calamity was
How long? And you started, what?
I started
an
at,
hour
like,
and a half? An
I
hour
started
ago?
at, like, yeah, an hour ago.
not so lucky.
Yeah, I've been clicking the box
They've
thing.
been left to freeze or starve or face the kid.
Flaming. I'm not sure if you have I've seen you around
Keep fighting for the fort. At least
today,
the marshals left
so
the
to
kid.
continue to refer to you, I'm not sure if you have a
Oh,
preference
he's getting a new weapon.
for how you. I'll just call you
Something
flaming
the
because I don't want to
windbags
keep.
just can't
I don't want to keep calling you an
Something
idiot.
that'll punch clean through their greasy hides.
I mean, unless that's like, you know,
Got the scrap musket. Which is great. We love the scrap musket. It's good.
Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. The calamity drove the windbags topside.
if when I think of musket, I think of an old, like, you know, you're lucky if you get one shot off and then you spend a minute or two reloading it.
Yeah,
And
luckily
then
this
it
one.
blows up in your face.
Luckily, I feel like the reload on this is faster than the reload on the bow. So.
Could have been minding the business under
When I learned about, like, when I became at least somewhat competent in, like, weapon history, and I realized, like, oh, muskets aren't just
Cinder
old
Brick gave
guns,
enough
they're
heat
like-
metal to munch on for a
they're
while.
like really
The fort
crappy
ain't
guns.
theirs by right.
Wait, and I don't know if musket is the correct term, but it's just what I envision of, like,
Yeah.
like 18th century weapon, 17th maybe, I don't know. But when I sort of learned about line infantry, I thought the whole concept was stupid. Like, why would people line up? But considering that, like, none of
So
the
many
weapons
of
were
those sorry
accurate,
things.
and
Yeah, it was the best way to
all that,
get something to hit something. Was just all line up and fire in a direction and hope. There are random holes
I wonder,
in the floor a lot.
like, how effective. I'm sorry.
There are just a lot of holes in the floor, so I keep falling.
I wonder how effective it would be to have, like, one modern trained, let's say, like I don't know what an effective, a very combat effective soldier is, so I'll just use the term
Yeah.
spec ops, I guess, I don't know. Let's say one fully decked out spec ops soldier with modern
Odds are
technology
this kid's glad he packed trip mines.
just being transported into whatever it is, the medieval era or the Renaissance. Like, I wonder how much they can do.
Security's playing
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't take over the world, can you? Like, you're gonna run out of bullets, or, you know, something's.
Yeah, no, something is gonna happen that's gonna make it so that way you
afraid to get burned.
are gonna have to resort to sword fighting or something eventually.
Or you'll probably just get sick.
Yeah, no, that too.
Kids fresh out
Or you'll
of
get
hell.
everyone else sick.
They trap the kid in the middle of the
Oh, well, that's a good weapon.
grounds.
You just have to be non-violent. You just have to, like, get in rooms with people and just sort of
Literally.
act all nice, and then a week later they're all. Well, no, I guess you'd be equally susceptible. It probably works like that. 'Cause there's probably.
All their scumbag uncles.
No, I guess because the European
They got
colonists
something
that,
only their sorry
you know,
hides.
decimated the native populations when they went to the Americas with disease. They didn't in turn also get sick from stuff, right?
Yeah. No, it
Because
depends
I
on
guess
which
they had-
sicknesses were. Yeah, but there are some sicknesses that they probably don't have immunity to either, though. That we've since talked about, like polio.
Kid takes that, Lucas. Maybe it was Blandon.
most lengthy firearms from about 1400 to 1890 or so are a musket of some sort.
The windbags finally get the message.
Flaming says, we're not totally sure why, but there weren't really any diseases other than syphilis that made it back from the New World to
Oh,
Europe.
damn. Interesting.
And now ain't nothing left for nobody.
Well, syphilis is, or existed on a massive scale.
Ah.
Syphilis, that says something about
Yeah.
the fact that's what came back. It says something about our good friends, the colonists,
Seems
and
the
of
only
course
thing
by
the
good
Calamity
friends I mean
saved for Zolf
not
was
good
the
friends.
smoking pipe.
Smoking pipe levels. I'm not gonna do those, but
The marshal seemed like good man, he said.
What is this
They
conversation?
treated him
You know what,
with
Ethan? We're talking about. I mean, what is any good conversation about the colonists? We talk about
Zolf brought his antique
the
smoking
terrors
pipe
that
all
they
the way from
brought
the
onto the
terminals.
world, the unfortunate terrors.
Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him.
ooh.
I wonder if you could colonize. I guess people colonized the internet when the internet first became available.
Kids ready to get
You know,
Yeah.
widely,
personal,
like
with hammer and
consumer-wise.
musket in hand.
I don't know if that really counts though.
If you
But I'm
feeling
wondering
low,
what
count
it
on
will
the
be
buttery
like
flavor of our own Bastion
colonizing the solar system. Because I know there's treaties in place that's like, you know,
bourbon. Zolf's travels ain't much
I
compared
think
to what the kids
it's
have to
like
go
the
through
moon,
for all
like you
this.
can, the property that you send there is the property of your country, but you can't own land. And then I think that was just the moon, right?
The
And then
memorial.
Mhm.
Be a
everything
kid
else
can
is
pay
like you
respect
can't
to the old world and earn it in
colonize it.
kind.
I mean, not that, you know, if some regime rises that has enough power
The
to just
valediction. Just
disrespect
another one of my
those
sketches.
terms, they would do
Nothing
it.
more.
Especially, you know, if we got technologically to the point where we could colonize another planet, that stuff's going out the window. Unless we're like a unified planet, which I don't know if that's inherently good or bad.
Yeah.
But unless we were what's the term? Unified without conflict, like securely
Words
unified,
can't express
it
what
would just
happened,
be
but
it
they're
would
all
be
I
a
got.
resource race. What are these are these like buffs?
Oh
these
yeah,
images?
the drawings. Those are basically you gain rewards for achievements. So I'm probably not
Finders
going to get a ton of
keepers.
them, but it's more of a if I manage to run across them, then great. Because some of them are like, it's about like using your weapons in specific ways or defeating a certain number of different kinds of enemies and stuff like that. Oh, Langston River. Okay.
So
yes.
Flaming says the numbers vary wildly, but some estimates put the number of Native Americans in the world at 1491 as higher than the population of Europe.
The
Which is
Langston River
well,
flowed
not-
free and wild. till the Calamity
and
drank it all
Flaming
up.
says they think a moon base would be much more useful than a Mars base.
Maybe all
I
that
mean, right
water
now it
just
would
grew
certainly
wings
be
and
because
flew
there's
off.
nothing on Mars. And then Ethan asked what our opinion on moon tourism is.
Riverbank swarming
I mean,
with
it's just
bags.
making
They're so
capitalism
bent
in
on finding
space,
the core,
which
they hardly notice the kid.
I feel like it's probably bound to
Lucky for
happen
him,
eventually.
certain
Like,
things
I don't know if
very
I would want to go to space, but
Weepin'
I
Nelly.
respect them for
Just send some squirts
trying to make
crying
money off
on
of
the
space, I
ship.
guess. I don't know.
Maybe Nelly knows the way to the core.
I mean,
Maybe she can
it
slip
is
right
a slippery
past all the
slope,
glamour on the
but
coast.
if it contributes to
Or maybe not.
the exploration
Security skiff
of
pulls
space
reports
that has died down since
Yeah.
Nellie's just
since
another
the
windbag to
space
those
race has
guns.
died down. Like
Then that's fair. Like, I'll
there's
take it.
there's no huge
Just that,
like imagine being in the
bags noticed
60s
what
and
she
watching the moon
said.
landings
Put a steam
and like there was
about
this
what happened
whole
at Cinderbrick.
and obviously it was motivated by the Cold War, but
Yeah. No, I did a whole
Even
I did a
so,
whole
it
research
was
paper
just
about the
cool.
space race in high school and about how it was like motivated by the Cold War and all the like media that's been done about the space race and like the people who were majorly involved in it.
it stinks
They tried
that
to slow
it
it
takes
down.
wars for scientific innovation.
Yeah.
She almost falls again.
To happen.
They try to knock her out.
So said their name was Grace. Do I call them
Well,
Grace?
Nellie tries harder.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Try, she might
Yeah.
go.
Okay,
She
so
gets a
Mackenzie
snack.
says, in technicality,
Kids
the
gotta
internet
help
was a
get
type
up
of
there.
colonization with claiming
Favors for
domains.
favors.
I remember Bernie Burns on the Rooster Teeth podcast was talking about how he claimed the domain Bernie.com
Uh-huh.
and he spells it BURNIE
Ah.
and the
They
Bernie
should pick a
Sanders
good spot
campaign.
for a break.
I think
It's a
it was them,
right there.
or it was some entertainment personality. But it might have been the Bernie Sanders campaign if I recall, 2016, and probably a bunch of others too tried to buy the campaign. I mean, tried to buy rather the domain
Oof.
from him. It's kind of interesting because like all of those early internet titans that like, God knows when he claimed Bernie.com, but
Yeah, literally.
And the kid hears an unusual sound, like a hundred.
now if you even thought of anything like that, like
Yeah.
any five letter combination, like I wouldn't even imagine having anything like that. Flaming says, yeah, as a divided world, I don't think we're going anywhere in a significant way. Ethan
Yeah.
says, I think we need a second space race. Like, come on, that was exciting.
They've
That
been watching
my
us
thoughts
every
exactly. Like, do we need a bunch of shooty boys and a bunch of boats,
They have their
or
own eyes.
you know, I'd rather have a bunch of spaceships. You could still
Ain't got time to think it over just yet.
justify it
Finds
to the
one
people who
Nellie
want
wearing
shooty
the gun.
boys. You could just say, oh well, space, like
Turns out she's
how it's
got a
been
special
justified
surprise
recently.
for when water's
To people with military interests, as like a space force. I mean that should play into
She's gonna need a little help with all that.
interstellar technology.
Traffic things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly.
I wonder-
into these.
What's the coolest thing? Like, what's the coolest amenity? Like, let's say we colonize Mars and it's still pretty early, and you know we have to sort of prioritize what we want on Mars or on a moon base. Like, what's the first useless
Security
amenity
skiffs keep on
that
killing
you would
the
want
starboard side.
there? For
I mean, you
fun?
mean like what I would want for
Don't seem to care
kicks,
what
like
they
for
shoot.
entertainment or for.
Yes. What's the first wasteful thing you would want? Like,
I
would
mean,
you
I
want,
wouldn't
like, a
call it
swimming
wasteful, but
pool
I
or-
want theater because I think space theater would be cool. Like the thing that's like
What,
not
with, like,
necessary
the
for
set
survival.
people- with like set people like managing like gravity levels and stuff.
Yeah,
That would be
I think
zero
that would be-
gravity theater.
I think zero gravity theater would be very cool.
Kid boards one of them skiffs like some kind of Saint London privateer. Well,
Where would
all
you-
proves too much for poor Nellie.
Could you make it like a spherical theater where you're sitting all around,
Yeah.
or would you make it the people are in the middle and the theater and the
And
show
the theater
is
is all around. I think either would be very cool.
Last stop
I think either would work really well.
with the last breath.
Mackenzie says Newsies in space.
Newsies in space.
Solid
Mackenzie and I did Newsies together in high school.
Seems a calamity.
No, gondola mission.
Appetites.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is the whole big gondola mission. This bird boss sucks. There we go.
Ethan says
Either
a
one is just as
sphereter.
bad as a kid.
I
Like a
respect
sphere
the
theater.
pun right there.
Keep hitting tab when I mean to be cute.
kids' shoes them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times
Do we
Kid
know
nearly fell
Flaming?
off the barge back there?
Or are they like an
9
IC
whole
student?
times.
Because I'm gonna continue referring to them as Flaming.
Now,
But I
listen
feel bad
close.
because earlier I was calling
You
them
should
Flaming
remember this
Idiot,
next part.
as is their username. I wasn't sure if that was...
Uh-huh.
If that's bothersome, let me know.
Why go to
Flaming.
Prosper Bluff?
And I shall change my designation. Oh, it's Tristan.
It's Tristan.
Oh, yeah.
I figured when we got super deep into
Used to
military
take an
history and he had
enterprising
something to
man.
say, that it was Tristan.
Venture out that far.
Well, I don't want to, I mean, I guess it's already been said, but I don't want to use your name if you don't want us to. So,
The city was the most beautiful place in
unless
the
you say
world.
otherwise, I
We
will
all knew
continue
that.
going by Flaming. But nice to see you.
But
Nice
on
to see
the
you.
other
again.
hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't.
Oh right,
And
this
that's
is
why
the.
you go to Prosper Bluff.
Is this the poison flower area? Yeah, it is. The blindness flowers. I love this. Prosper Bluff.
Mary says that for her blind Wizard 101 stream, that'll be coming up in... I would have to... Man,
Math.
let me check the
Uh,
schedule. But she
15
said...
or
Hear
so minutes.
something you ain't heard in a long while.
She said that her blindfold completely blinds her. So that's
Ooh.
exciting.
Truly
She's
blind.
playing Wizard 101 blind. Guided by Fiona, I believe.
Yes.
Ethan says, honestly, a moon theme park would kind of slap despite the concept being
Yeah,
awful.
that's the
Yeah.
one.
Oh yay, we got to the song. I'm glad we got this far.
So we're delayed from when we can read the chat and respond. So Flaming, you said, and yes, but I have no idea what that's in reference to
Yeah.
because it was something that I said earlier. But I wish that I did know what that was. If you were willing to clarify. Theme park engineers are on another plane of existence. That is true. And they could 100% do wild things with low grav. That is extremely true. Imagine how fun that must be, and I'm sure there's like difficulties that make it annoying. But like, how fun it must be to like learn like physics and engineering, architecture, whatever goes into being a theme park engineer,
Yeah.
and just like imagine your contemporaries are like, you know, building like a utility like a bridge, and you're over there just like, hey, I'm making like a pretzel, like you're doing like public transportation to benefit society, and I'm making
A
twirly
pretzel.
bowl. Who said Space Newsies? That was Mackenzie.
I mean,
Who is
since
Liv Trent.
since the song is currently playing in the background, and I know you can hear it, Sean, so no worries. But since the song is currently playing, I have to shout out the incredible work of Darren Korb and I know her first name is Ashley, but I cannot remember her last name, who's the vocalist on this song. They did so much incredible work on every single Supergiant game. If you have played Hades, she's also the voice of Eurydice, but she voices Zia in this game. She is phenomenal. And Darren does all of the music for every single Supergiant game. It is absolutely glorious. I love everything he has ever done. But I have to shout that out because it's just so good. And Sean cannot hear it, so I had to interject that. But just the sound design and the music in all of these games is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite parts. It's so good. Everything about it is good. And music is like it's not just like a background thing, it's like a major portion of every single one of these games, so it's very special to have such a talented person working on these games and this stuff. Yeah. yeah, that's my bit. That's all I had to say about it. Just that it's
So
good.
I'm guessing, is it adaptive music?
Yeah.
Like,
So like, as in like, what do you mean by that?
so like it changes. Let's say with rising action, like it'll
Yeah, for sure.
layer in,
Hades
like,
does a
other
really good
tracks.
job with this. As you get through like layers of bosses and stuff, the music will change, or the music is exactly as long as it needs to be for a certain area. The sound design in this game is a lot simpler, but again, that's because this was their first game, and he recorded all of this music in his closet, because they had very little budget. But in this game, for example, like as you're getting closer to the girl that's singing, it like gets louder, and so you can it's adapting to the situation around you. But music has always been like a central theme. There's always a singer. In Transistor, it's the player character. In this game, it's Zia, who we're about to meet in a second here, because she's the one singing. And so, like, music and the themes of what that music means in the world is always a relevant piece. And in Hades, it's Orpheus, but Eurydice also sings. But the presence of the music is always a really relevant piece of Supergiant games.
it must be so hard to do because you need to record all of the tracks individually, and then instead of just like making a piece of music, it's still all separated, and then situationally you need to connect it to all of these triggers in the game, like location and when you're taking damage, how much health you have, and then you need to decide like which tracks are coming in how loud.
Yeah, one of my favorite sound things in any of these games is in Transistor, which I will always reference because Transistor is quite literally my favorite video game of all time, hands down. Is when you enter an area for the first time, you hear a song that is sung by... So your character has lost her voice, but she was a singer. But she has her voice taken away by the government. Because it's a sci-fi dystopian, and that's what happens. But the first time you go to a place, you hear the song, and when you come back to the place, but it's been like processed by the robots,
What happens next?
you hear the same song, but it's been like super hyper processed, and so you can't even like decipher the voice as human anymore. It sounds like a robot voice, and it's so good. I like little details like that are so important.
Kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides,
Ethan
like the song goes.
said, on a related note, Devil May Cry 5, when it came out, people started reviewing it. They were complaining, you know, the game journalists were complaining that the music wasn't intense enough, but it was really just because they sucked and they couldn't play well enough to make the intensity go up. Mackenzie said also in reference to
I wonder if they spent as much time in the closet as
Yeah.
I did.
Kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow or again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people.
singer.
Yep.
I
But
feel
there was
like
more
with
to
the
be
lack
done.
of talking, there's
Was
probably
one last
really good
chord to
music
find.
going on right
Yeah,
now.
there is. It's just the song playing in the background.
A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away.
It's time for plot. Where is Zia? I forget where she stands normally.
Kid ain't finished here yet.
Oh, whoops. Yep, I gotta use the core. Forgot I grabbed it.
Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here.
Okay, yeah. We don't have time for that, so I'm gonna come back to that later.
The Bastion ain't gonna build itself. Well, not entirely.
Now we have the shrine.
The old, the Pantheon.
Yes, the shrine.
Which again makes the game harder, so we
Oh,
have
that thing. Yes.
another deity unlocked. Foe shall have vengeance in the throes of defeat. That is...
A Kobe.
Yeah. That one's really hard. So I'm not going to do that. But there's only
We
one
tracked
core
the final
left.
core beyond
Yup.
the city to the wilds.
Only one core left. Absolutely nothing strange happens, or is messed up by the later events of this game. It is very straightforward from here on.
Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it.
Dueling
What's
pistols!
better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having
I love
two.
this one. Yes.
Savage things lurking at every turn. Pin cushions ain't the worst of it either. Kid's faster than a slinger with those guns.
I hate directions there. There we go. Oh yes, of course the core is trapped
Hackers
behind
got
rocks.
the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon.
Oop! I heard a donation go off.
By now, kids got more needles in them than stab weed.
Well, I'm gonna see it on a delay. It has not come up yet. Hey, Thomas is hosting
They shouldn't
with
have let
one
their
viewer.
guard down.
Maybe it's the same noise.
Getting that core was one thing.
Same
Getting
sound
out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Kid takes a last look around, 'cause he ain't coming back.
Ethan thanks Thomas.
Indeed. Thank you
As
for
do
the
we.
host.
So what is... I've always been confused by hosting. So like,
So it's
You're
basically that
watching-
it's on. It's you can watch our channel on Thomas's channel.
Cat donated $25 to the Cap Creative Recovery Fund.
$25 is
Donation
something
towards
secret.
blue hair of some shade should
I
the
wonder,
goal be met. Have fun, Fiona.
Not by me.
I wonder how it like...
And lunkheads
Hey,
ain't fond of
okay,
two-legged
so-
animals.
Donation towards blue hair of some shade should the goal be met. Have fun, Fiona. From Kat, who donated $25. Thank you.
Goodness, why can't I get through this? What am I supposed to do? There
Wallflowers
we go.
survive the calamity.
I'm going to put
Let's
that so
take
I
it
don't
real
forget
slow.
the
Pin cushions are
hair
our
color.
A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far.
Blue hair of some shade.
Oh, basically, because the
roused
goal
up
for
after a
1500
while.
is for Fiona to dye her hair, and so somebody is submitting
She's
what
seen the
they
last of
would
them.
suggest for the hair color to be.
Yeah, I have I have a gnat memory, so I already forgot that it was blue, so I had
You're
to
good.
flip it to find out again.
No worries. Frogs. Oh, I'm out of health tonics. Crap. I'm gonna die.
Wilds drag him down.
Ah.
Leave it to the kid to make time for stomping swamp weeds.
Stupid pinwheels.
Gotta keep a sure foot out there.
Ethan is prepared to drive and get hair dye.
Don't ever turn your back on a pin cushion.
Okay.
The wilds already reclaimed this place. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right?
So how far are
Well,
you
no.
progress-wise?
Not by a long
It's so funny
shot.
that we're done in 4 minutes because this is where the like conflict starts.
Kid knows something's up, but we
I
ain't there to
think,
give a warm welcome.
like 2/3 maybe of the way
See,
through.
Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not.
Cutscene.
And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone.
Yep.
Zulf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see, but leave it to this gal
Oh,
to
it's
point
the
out the amazing
happy
view.
place, but it's the sad place.
Mm-hmm.
When Zulf got through reading that journal, he just snapped.
Is that just...
Started smashing up
Is
the
there
mine
just like
till
weather
I tried to
variety, or
stop
is that like a story beat that like now it's raining?
Oh yeah, now it's raining because of the... Because now we're sad, so it's raining,
Oh.
essentially.
Zulf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put it back together.
Shards.
The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health.
Okay. Still not leveled up, I'm presuming? Nope.
Ain't always much to say.
Right, okay, so I'm presuming...
The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back.
Okay, yeah, no, we're hitting 11, so I can't keep going. Because if I start another level, it's not going to be in time for somebody else to do their thing, for Mary to start her stuff. So yeah, that's, I guess we'll call it there. That's as far as we're going to get in Bastion. Thank you all for joining us. So Sean,
Thanks
having
to
seen
donating.
Supergiant for the first time, for like the first real time, what did you think?
It looked beautiful. I have too much of a backlog already for me to say I will definitely play this once school
Fair.
ends. But I would love to jump into any Supergiant game sometime.
Yeah,
It's
maybe sometime I will
on my,
hop on
my
and
Captain America list.
maybe at some point I will Discord stream the second half so you can come and see the second half of me playing this, because the actual plot and the unraveling of why the calamity happens and all that is yet to be discovered, because when Zulf leaves is sort of when everything goes up. But yeah, so we got all the cores. We did what I said I was gonna do. But there's still a good, I think, third of the game to go. But it's not too far. So maybe I'll hop back on and finish it sometime. But yeah, next up we have Mary's gonna do a blind playthrough, I think, of Genshin Impact and Wizard 101, because we hit a donation goal. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Thank you for joining me, Sean, and for helping me read chat and all that. And
Thanks for inviting me.
I'm gonna send us to a be right back on Streamlabs here. Yep.